Okay, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another hangout with NCYE. I'm here with Mr. Jotham Makanga. Say what's up.
What's up, man? Hi, everybody else.
Right. It's the 27th, 4th of April, 2015. And the reason why we're here tonight is discover, what in the world is movie jabbing? What's a movie jabber? Where did it come from? Who thought of the name? Why does it even exist? And all that kind of stuff. But first of all, I would like to ask you one question, man. Most importantly, who is Jotham Makanga?
All right, cool. All right, first of all, I'll start with movie jabber because that's pretty much my passion, and that's where I'm trying to wrap around everything so that it's a 360 thing in regards to me. Back in campus and throughout high school, after changing my goal in terms of profession several times, I realized that I had a thing for movies, and I always used to wonder how the cinemas in Kenya and cinemas worldwide got the movies. We know where Hollywood is, but how are they able to spread out all the movies across all the cinemas worldwide? So I read up on it and learned about distribution and the whole marketing aspect behind the movies, and the exciting things that happen with movies, conventions, events, screenings, etc. So I was like, why isn't that happening here in Kenya? We have cinemas, yes, but why aren't there any exciting events around movies? Why isn't there a source, people to get information and data on what's showing in cinema? So that's how Movie Jabber started in a nutshell. It started off with a different name through a different angle. We wanted to start through, I had a friend of mine, Jared Billa. I gave him this idea. He also had his idea. So we decided to work on our two separate ideas. My idea was to pitch an online review show, an online review show on YouTube, and seek funding from the cinemas. So most of the cinemas, actually all the cinemas, were not able to financially support the show, but they say they would be able to support the show in kind, giving video content and all that stuff. But that wasn't going to pay the bills, and that wasn't going to pay the cost of a production. So after a while, I decided, there's social media, and social media is a cheap form of advertising and raising awareness. So just why not go to social media? So in social media, I decided to change the name a bit. I got Movie Jabber. Jabber means to talk. Jabber means to basically in English. Okay, it is an English word. The annoying part is people confuse it with the Luo word Jaber. I think if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Jaber, which is very, very annoying because it's an English word, jabber. It's a purely English word, and it means to talk about something, in a way that doesn't make sense. But Movie Jabber represents a community of people who have a passion for movies, everything to do with movies, either cosplay, movie reviews, books, etc. Basically, if you think Movie Jabber, you think movies and the world that comes out from, and everything that comes out from the world of movies. So Movie Jabber simply represents that community, people who are avid fans, people who can sit down and talk about a movie and go beyond what they've just seen on screen, talk about the history of the director, talk about the history of the actor, talk about how certain directors are notorious for doing A, B, C, D. Certain script writers are famous because this is a certain style of this script writer, this actor or this actress only takes part in such roles, etc. So such discussion doesn't make sense to anyone who's not like an avid film fan, but somebody who's able to tell you that somebody who's able to list all Christopher Nolan movies and his take on them, somebody like that would understand and be part of Movie Jabber. This kind of discussion, this kind of talk about movies would make sense to him. So that's what Movie Jabber, that's hence the term Movie Jabber. It doesn't make sense to people on the outside who are not avid fans of movies or TV shows and the world that comes from that. But to people within, it makes complete sense to them. And by that, I've also explained what Movie Jabber is in a nutshell. We're all about movies, and that's number one, and the world and everything that is attached and emanates from the world of movies, events, cosplay event like Nikon this past weekend. That's what Movie Jabber is about. And who is Jotham? Very good question, but I think the simplest way to answer that is I'm pretty much into the arts. I hate the sciences. I hated the sciences, math, chemistry, physics, all that stuff. So anything to do with art, writing, music, drawing, designing, creative aspects, marketing, imaging, branding. That's pretty much me. But I'm a pretty talkative person in the right situation, and I care about other people's feelings too. People say I look intimidating, but I don't think I am. I love sports. Football or soccer is the least one of my least favorite sports because I love contact sports because of the aggression. I think in life as a man you need aggression, you need confidence, and I think that's something that you get from rugby. That's something you get from contact sports like mixed martial arts. The discipline to achieve something and to be greater than what you are. I've had to train in martial arts before, and currently I play rugby too. So I've really benefited from both environments. I've had to play soccer too, by the way, just in case somebody thinks I'm just being biased. But I've benefited a lot from that. And yeah, I'm pretty much straightforward and blunt. I really don't like beating around the bush. If you have something good to say so. If you have some criticism for me, positive, I can take it. I have no issue whatsoever. And I think everything I like kind of reflects that. I watch stuff that reflects my nature. I listen to music, hard rock and metal music, because they're hard and they're blunt and they're straight in your face. Okay, straight in your face. No, I mean they're edgy and they're well. Basically, I pretty much listen and watch stuff that I can closely relate to. That's why I find it very difficult to watch anything that doesn't have pretty good storyline to it and an adrenaline rush to it.
Like
I hope that makes sense somehow.
let's see, like something for example would be The Matrix, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is actually my favorite franchise at the moment. Favorite
Okay.
trilogy. The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy was number two at some point, and then I watched Zack Snyder's Batman versus Superman trailer, and I saw his adaptation of Batman, the costume. I was like, this is the Batman that we deserve. This guy is built to fight. I was like, Christopher Nolan, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Christian Bale, Michael Caine, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. But in advance, please step aside. Zack Snyder, there you go.
Yo, what about The Matrix? What about The Matrix?
Matrix, the Wachowski siblings, back then the Wachowski brothers. That was a really good franchise, and I think it's really raised the bar. And my favorite is the first and second one. I think the second one is my most favorite. Third one, I think they kind of came under a lot of financial pressure and maybe studio pressure to succeed and change aspects of the storyline. You kind of felt that maybe some elements they wanted to go with, somebody somewhere edited it and went like, nope, we need to make it as mainstream as possible, add this in, add that in, and yeah. But I really respect them for what they did, and that the Matrix, I won't lie to you, it's not in any of my top 5 or top 10 lists, not because it's a bad franchise, but because I have certain, it's in a league of its own. That's it. It's in a league of its own. It will never go up, it will never go down. It's just perfect. It's in a league of its own.
Right.
It's perfect.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you this, man. You just talked about about the movie industry,
Yeah.
how it is in Kenya, how it is abroad and everywhere. So right now where Movie Jabba is at, of like your YouTube videos, man. Talk to us a bit about that. What what do you what do you actually the content that you actually deliver out there with your YouTube videos? What do you aim to achieve? What do you hope to achieve with
Okay.
all these videos? Because I saw like some pretty funky stuff that I think I've seen about 3, 4 videos so far.
Okay. We started off in the porn industry as a couple like porn videos that we posted online, but for some weird reason YouTube blocked them and we had removed them. I have no idea why, and I'm joking.
Did you spell it correctly?
What?
That's-
Yeah, I'm playing with you. Um, Very quickly before I explain the videos, Movie Jabber's arm of operation. At least we this year's plan, and in terms of function, is we review, we create, and we distribute. So most of the stuff we review, because we're trying to build the industry, we're trying to direct people to the cinema industry. We're trying to get people to go to cinema. The movie reviews you find on our website are movies in cinema. So that's the content we have. And before, when we started off doing YouTube vlogs, we used to review a lot of the movies in cinema, and then also some of the movies we used to watch on DVD. You know, what you download or you buy from your DVD guy, and then plus some TV shows also. But right now, at the moment, we've streamlined it. We've we have two aspects of Movie Jabber. The first aspect was the group, the Movie Jabber group, what we call the forum now, which has like 2,000 plus members at the moment. That was the first platform that was created. People talking about stuff, etc, all that stuff. So right now it has grown so much. There's a lot of organic or natural conversations happening. It's now the members themselves spurring conversation and talking, etc. So we've that's the strength of that group. So we leave it like that. Then we have the official website. Now on the website, because of our official image and everything else, that's what we have the legit reviews put up, legit movie reviews. And then on our official Facebook page, that's where we also have like the legit events happening. Like for example, Nikon most recent, and any movie premiere events. But basically, we just review the movie shows, and then it's been pretty much a trial and error, because when we started out, I think in 2011. There are not that many people, unless I'm mistaken. There were not that many people on Kenyans on YouTube actually posting vlogs and getting views above 1,000, without paying for them. And
Yeah,
so for us, it was pretty much a trial and error, trying to see what works, what doesn't work. So we had a bit of reviews, and we had a bit of some scripted segments, some stupid things happening in the background. Then after a while, because all that was being funded by our pockets, the guys were sacrificing. Myself, Chiso Common, he's our editor. We have Kennedy Kiriko, he's a project manager and head of photography. Then we had Tyler. Tyler was in charge of scripting. So we used to, every weekend we used to meet over at my place. We used to shoot every Sunday, and then Chiso would also quickly edit that same day and try to have the video up on Tuesday. So after a while, it became very, very tiring, given the fact that Monday everybody's at work, their respective offices, etc. So that took a break. Then we'd have random videos now and then. Then we tried a second round again of video of reviews with I think a green screen. With a green screen background. Tried it for a bit. That took a break too. Then the recent vlogs were, I would shoot them myself and I'd edit on my own. Did that for a bit, then work again became too much, so that took a break. So right now we're more focused on probably having shooting videos every 2 weeks. It's much more manageable right now. Every 2 weeks. Right now the ongoing segment we have is Pop Culture 254. Which is what we in that segment we focus on pop culture in Kenya, because movies represent pop culture. People cosplaying with the anime guys, with the comic book store, village market, between the lines. Yeah.
I'm surprised to see someone in a Akatsuki suit. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man.
Those black guys from
When it
Naruto.
comes to anime, I can't pronounce the names. If it's not Bleach related, I pretty much can't pronounce the names. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome stuff, man. So let me ask you this: you said that before Movie Jabber was Movie Jabber, it was called something else before. Like, what was it called before? How many were you then, and how many are you now? Like,
it was called Blockbuster, because at that time I still had the vision. I had the same vision, but at that time I wanted to launch it differently through a YouTube, a professionally shot and produced YouTube review show. But the cinemas weren't willing to fund that. Nobody was willing to sponsor that, because the concept was different. The concept was new, and all the people who were capable of funding such a thing were focused on mainstream media. They had more faith of mainstream media. They had more understanding of mainstream media, which gave at that point around 2011, 2012, it was 2011 actually, it was understandable, because right now the boom of experience with digital media and advertising wasn't there in 2010, 2011. So it was called Blockbuster. Then when we didn't get the funding and there was no way to go to actually achieve that specific goal of starting with the online video reviews, that's when I was like, you know what, the same concept can carry on social media wise, but perhaps I can use a different angle and change the name to be more encompassing. Because blockbuster kind of gave the feel that we were just talking big movies. So I wanted a name that embodied the fact that we talked about movies in general, whether horror movies or action movies, whether blockbuster movies or independent movies, whether local or international, whether fan-made movies or professionally made movies. Hence the term movie jabber. So I was like, movie. At that point, I was like, movie has to be there. Movie has to be there. So the understanding is very, very clear. Then hence jabber coming in, and as I explained earlier on, jabber was the fact that our knowledge of movies, our dedication to movies, and the fact that we're able to be very specific and tell you exactly about movies and go in depth may not make sense to other people who are not avid fans, but to us and within our community, it does make sense. So that's how Movie Jabber first started, and that's how we ended up here. Oh yes, and not people at that point it was myself and Jared Billa. Jared and I had an understanding. Jared had this great video concept, this show concept that he wanted to pitch. I had this concept. So at that point, Jared believed that my concept was actually more profitable, was more innovative and more creative. Was basically was easier to get off the ground. But unfortunately, when we went around pitching, the cinemas and possible sponsors refused. We're like, okay, we have two concepts, nobody willing to fund. So Jared took his concept, I took my concept, and I reintroduced it as Movie Jabber online now. Yeah,
Man,
that's what
okay,
happened.
wow.
So right now, before I forget, right now we're around 7. We're around 7 in total. That's myself, that's Kennedy, and that's Chiso, myself, Kennedy, Chiso, Ash, and Jerry. And yeah, we're around 7.
7. Oh man, you guys have come quite a long way. When did you say that you started Movie Jabber again?
2011, November.
2011. So you've been around for about 4 years now.
That's when the concept now became visible. I started a group on Facebook, and people started joining.
And that's when people now started seeing Movie Jabber as
Exactly,
shoot, man. You know,
November 2011. Yeah.
this is actually pretty cool.
How come?
Because I looked at your Facebook group and it's quite active. It's quite active.
It is. It was in the beginning. It was about like, hey, I started this group. Please join it. Get your friends to join it. EDC. Here's what we're talking about. Then the first few people to join. Oh yeah, and Bright. Bright, yeah.
Right.
Actually, yeah, I should mention this before. So I started Movie Jabber, and then 3 months afterwards, I met with Bright, and I met with Chiso at a cafe in town. I was like, yo, I've started this group, and I'd like you two to be involved because I think you have this specific individual strengths that will be of really much use to the group. So I was like, cool. And then yeah.
Approach random strangers.
Come again?
You just approach 2 random strangers, or
no. Chiso, myself were roommates in campus. So I've known Chiso for close to 10 years now, and Bright Bright the same. We met in campus, so it was after campus, 2011, because I graduated 2010 from Daystar. Yeah, it was 2011. That's when we had to sit down and talk.
Oh, okay, good stuff, man. And that's where you met Bright, and he got on board. I bet he felt this kind of thing going on because I know the kind of person Bright is.
Yeah, Bright is pretty much social. So he brought in a lot of people also, and not just people to fill up numbers, but people who would actually be interested in that kind of thing. And then we had our first event. I still have the pictures. The Dark Knight Rises. Bright was there. He's like, he's like a tall ball of energy, tall ball of Ghanaian energy. So that was there. Chiso's also pretty cool. He's a self-taught, very, very talented graphic designer. He's a one-man production company. He can do music, he can do videos.
So Chiso is the big guy, right? That works for.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know Chiso.
Yeah, Chiso, Malawian, wears glasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's like a one-man branding machine. He's like a brand, So he's basically like our brand manager, yeah. So he's like, here's how I think we should position ourselves. Here's, I mean, from what's been happening so far, here's where I think we're going wrong. Here's the kind of messaging we should give, etc. All that stuff, yeah. So that's basically what Chiso does. So yeah, then after that, the good thing and the bad thing about rising awareness and people knowing about what you're doing. You have some guys who want to join. Like for me, it was always a business plan, and I've always been reading and reading up on Hollywood, reading up, and when you read the box office reports, you're able to. I don't know. It's when you're just able to look at the behind check. How do you're able to see the invisible strings that work behind the scenes. So whenever I read the box office reports, I'll be like, I know somebody from the cinema is giving Box Office Mojo, for example, the reports on the performance.
Right.
So who are those middlemen? Who are those people between the cinemas and this website is giving all this data? So that's where I wanted Movie Jabber to be. But in order to be there, you had to have an association with the cinemas. And in order for you to have an association with the cinemas, you have to give them something worthwhile. And that something worthwhile is people. And in order for people to come to you and to be associated with you, you have to give them something that they need, something that they desire, and you have to make it very attractive for them. And that's what Movie Jabba is shaped around. And also, when you do that, you have to give those people control. You have to let them know that they're in control. There's a limit, yes, but within this limit, they're in control. So hence the Movie Jabba forum group being, people can talk, people always agree. Like whenever Game of Thrones is on, you just know, because in the group, nobody talks. You have lesser interactions because everybody's avoiding the group because of spoilers. But now everybody knows when it comes to Game of Thrones, please no spoilers. You can spoil anything and everything else, but Game of Thrones, don't talk about it in the group. So certain trends like that I've picked up. People know that, and it's because of the power of, you just speak power of association, I guess. People having the power to create their own content, because everybody generally knows how the group runs. Guys are very mature. Also, guys are very helpful. The only times when I step in forcefully is when people are spamming and they're talking about working at home and sharing those links with you, telling you that they make $5,000 an hour or whatever it is. So that's when I step in, and that's yeah, and
Yeah,
that's where Bright
that's
also
probably on
steps in. Exactly.
YouTube, right?
Come
As
again?
well. That's on YouTube as well.
The spammers.
Yeah.
This We haven't got any spammers on YouTube though. Yeah, we
Oh,
mostly get it in the Facebook group. Yeah.
Facebook. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know what you're talking about. That five thousand
Yeah.
dollar a day, five
Yeah.
thousand dollar an hour stuff. No good. Yeah, man. But yo, thank you so much, for coming on, talking about Movie Jabba, talking about what it is.
I
Man,
don't
we
know if
didn't expect you.
have I answered your questions properly.
You have answered everything like perfectly,
All
everything
right.
like 100% perfectly.
All
But
right.
one more question I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Um, this Nikon, this previous Nikon that happened on Saturday.
Yeah.
You guys were having auctions and everything. How do you get those products, those collectibles, those items? How do you get your hands on those kind of stuff?
All right. Nikon. We don't really own Nikon. Nikon is actually owned by the guys at Lulu Diaries and Events. So we came on board. We came on board as partners after the first event, because I think they recognized what we could do, because we'd actually also approached them on partnering with them, because it's basically the same target audience that they were targeting. And I figured, why not approach them, see if we could do something together, rather than work separately, because it's the same crowd. We're trying to bring up the same culture here. So in regards to that, they're the ones who got this. They're the ones who got the comic books that went up on auction, that were auctioned off. Sorry, this past Saturday, April 25th at Nikon. So they're the ones who got that. We took care more of the branding and the imaging and the on the ground running of events. Like that's why I was emceeing, handling the games, the trivia segments, sessions, etc. How to reward the fans or everything else. But they conceptualized the idea. They got the hall also, and they went after the guys who were at the different booths, etc., doing their stuff. So we came in terms of branding, imaging, and media-wise, photography, video, and then creative-wise, conceptualizing, planning in the sense like here's what should happen, here's what we should do this, here's how you should message this, brand this, etc. Before, during, and now after the event also. So it basically came in and did the branding and imaging, and in short.
All right, great stuff, man. So you guys don't collect any memorabilia or any
Personally,
rare
pers-
items at all.
personally, I do.
You
I'm the
do
most
personally?
avid collector. Like even my boss knows. Like her husband, whenever they travel, he gets me stuff. Like just he just gets me stuff, and
Like what do you have? In one thing that you say that you really treasure. You say, you know what, this is worth a lot. I'm gonna protect it. Like
right
you
now
keep.
I have a Man of Steel case shaped like the Superman symbol, the S symbol. Within it, it has 6 DVDs. 6 DVDs, Blu-ray, 3D, and behind the scenes, special scenes, the actual movie itself. It's a 6 DVD special package shaped like the S symbol. And then when you open up, it just has a different way of opening. It's pretty cool. Then it's mounted on this kind of magnetic glass stand thingy. Yeah, that is the most treasured thing to me right now at the moment. And what else? Yeah, that pretty much right now is the most treasure to me at the moment. I haven't even watched those DVDs yet. I haven't even put them in the DVD player yet because it's just there. So I've removed it from the casing. Yeah, I've packaged the casing. I've kept the casing safe too. But now that the cover itself, the DVD cover itself, I've mounted it because it has a mount, that glass magnetic mount. I've mounted it on my bookshelf, and that's where it is every day. I wake up in the morning, I look at it. Yep.
Man, I was actually expecting to you say that you have it behind the bookcase somewhere, behind a protected password,
No,
like
it's
some
in my
victim
room.
laboratory
It's
kind
in
of
my
stuff.
room. It's in my room. It's in my room. Then I have a big actually my first collectible is Superman. I have like a really huge Superman action figure, this big, the classic Superman from the cartoon series in the 90s, with the underwear you see. So I have that. That to me is
Yeah.
also treasured. Then I have this. Then I have another one. I have the Thing from Fantastic Four. This big also. I had him in my office. I'm still in the office right now. I had it in my office desk on my right. But then I realized everybody coming in would ask for it because it looks so real, everything else, like a mini thing. Everybody used to ask for it. And I really got scared when 2, 3 different people say that they would actually come and take it when I wasn't around, and I wouldn't know, and I would never know. So I was like,
Shoot.
this thing is going home. So I've taken it home. So those are my top 3.
So let me. Okay, wait. There's actually one question that I've
Yeah.
been dying to ask.
Yeah.
Are you? This is the moment of truth. Are
Yeah.
you DC or Marvel?
That's such a very simple question. I don't even think twice when I'm asked that. I'm a DC, but
Yes.
I'm a DC. But I believe people always say DC is too dark, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at the reaction, the reception that Daredevil got, because it was dark and gritty and realistic, that's the way to go. Because Avengers is funny, yes, you'll have fun, you laugh, you feel nice. But at the end of the day, nothing hits home harder than realism. Nothing. Something that can actually make you think and go like, wow. Like after when watching Daredevil, I was like, it's really cool. He's got the powers. He's blind. He's done the martial arts thing, but I still wouldn't want to be blind because it comes with its struggles, and that's something that series made me realize. And the acting was so good. It just felt I'm the kind of person where, for example, when I watch Fast and Furious 7, I suspend my belief. It's a suspension of belief because I know what I'm going for. So end of story. But when I do want, because I view superhero movies as symbolic and thematic also, and the very, very strong and crucial platform in relaying messages, etc. So if I'm watching a superhero movie and there's some tragedy in it, I'd really love that tragedy to actually hit home, so that when the hero rises above it, it makes a lot of sense. You can applaud it, and you can even
Right.
relate it to wherever you want to relate in your life. So that's why I'm DC all the way.
Right, right. Yeah. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's telling me Marvel, 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 Marvel everywhere I
No,
go. Thank God
right
I
now,
finally found
like I
this.
guarantee you, 80% of the people who are Marvel fanboys right now, they have no idea about the history of those characters. They have no idea about the history of Thor and Iron Man. I'm not just a DC fan because I'm blind, but if Marvel were to represent Tony Stark and Iron Man the way he is in the comic books, I would be really, really happy. I'll be happy. If they were to represent Thor the way he is in the comic books, I'd be happy. Hulk, Hulk has always been my number two favorite character of all time. Superman number one, Hulk number two. But how they brought him up, I mean, after Edward Norton's movie, The Incredible Hulk in 2008, and what they're doing right now with the Hulk and the Avengers, I'm like, people really don't understand these characters. Marvel isn't doing the characters on the comic books in the comic books justice with how they represent them on the big screen.
But I've realized that a lot. They're always switching up roles.
Yeah,
You find in the comic white, a character could be like Green Lantern could be white. Then all
yeah,
of a sudden he's black.
yeah.
Then you find out that probably he started out in space, but now no, they cock up another story, and you're
That's
like, man, why? You know,
that's
like
true.
there's this new movie that's coming out. I just forgot the name. They've made a remake of it. Um,
Which
was
one?
it Star Wars?
What
No, it's
year?
not Star
What is
Wars.
it about? Fantastic Four, you mean?
Yeah. No,
That's
it's just one of those movies. Was it Transformers? No, it wasn't Transformers.
Transporter,
It was some
or is it Hitman?
Transporter.
There's Transporter Refueled, and then there's
No,
Hitman, Agent 47.
I think no, no, definitely not that one. But it's one of those where you look at and you're like, why did they make a remake?
Yeah.
The movie was fine the way it was, you know. So yeah, man. But this year there definitely going to be a lot of movies coming out. Jurassic Park, Star Wars.
I'm
You
waiting
know,
for Batman vs Superman. That's what I'm waiting for.
what are you waiting for?
Batman versus Superman.
Oh
Batman versus
yeah,
Superman. That's my
yeah.
main.
That's going to be really really deep. I mean, I didn't expect to see that, but that's going to be killer. I
Yeah,
think that's going to be like amazing.
yeah.
But yo, man, like, thank you so much for coming. I think our time is up right now.
Maddie, could I just say one
So
more? Could I just say one more thing?
what?
Could I just say one more thing?
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
I just want to nicely package movie jabber so it makes also business sense. Um,
Uh,
so what we seek to do is basically also grow an industry. So we're not a movie club or a club where movie people can just get together and talk about stuff. Movie fans, sorry. We're seeking to grow that industry. So our end goal, our plan has always been number one, first gain the popularity, get the popularity and the trust of the audience. So we have our three factors in terms of the three pillars that we use when it comes to making a decision about what to invest in is based on credibility, influence, and revenue. If we're going to take part in something, will it give us? We always ask ourselves: will it give Movie Jabber credibility? Will it give Movie Jabber revenue? And will it give Movie Jabber, credibility, influence, and revenue? We have to work with at least with two, because we know once you have the credibility, once you have the influence, the revenue will come. Because once you have the credibility, you have the influence, the sponsors will come. Once you have the credibility and you have the influence, the customers will come. Because nobody wants to spend money on somebody or on something that isn't credible or hasn't influenced them enough to spend money on them. So our step has been basically gain that awareness, gain that platform. We've done that by posting content online regularly, etc. So what we've been trying to do now, next stage, pretty much like what Marvel have done with their movies, is now move on to that actual physical stage where we encourage people to transform their enthusiasm and passion into something physical, and give them and pack it in such a way that it's worth their money, worth their time. Hence our cinematic movie events, our screening events. So we tend to have like surprises and etc happening at our events. People hiding special vouchers under chairs at the cinema, in the cinema hall. And then also, most importantly, we also always do a highlight video at the end of every event. So that's also building visibility. so that you, if you did come for it, you as an audience member, you see for yourself exactly what happened. You're able to share with your friends, because of the fun and the thrill behind it. So we work with the human emotions there. That's a very strong aspect in business. We need to
True.
understand that the customer, you need to appeal to the customer's psychology, psyche, to the emotional aspect and the physical aspect. Everybody wants to eat. Everybody wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to get something enjoyable. So physically, does your product do that? Emotionally, does your product do that? Does your product make them feel like that was worth it? Like, yes. And psychologically, does your product make your customer base want to imprint you in their mind? That's why advertising is changing nowadays, and that's why the form of advertising we're trying to go for is subtle product placement. And that's why if anybody wants to work with us and sponsor us, has to be willing to creatively package, let us creatively package and embed their product within the whole festivities, because at the end of the day, our goal, our golden goose is the customer. And yeah, we want to create a community. That's basically it in a nutshell. That's our plan. That's our focus. That's how we approach things. Because you can't just blatantly shove something down people's throats. Appeal to the
True.
psyche, appeal to the emotions, appeal to the physical.
Yeah, and that's so true. That's so deep, man. I mean, thank you so much for that. But
Thank you very much, Maddie.
before, I mean, that's movie Jabba I see so much more than just movies. It really is a business, not a hobby. Because when people see movie Jabba, think movie Jabba, and you watch the videos, you'll be like, oh, these guys are just having fun. But actually, there's a whole psychology behind it, whole business
Exactly.
aspect to it that is really deep that people don't see. So thank you so much for clarifying on that. But before we go, I'm gonna give you a chance to give a few shout outs, shout outs, and let tell people where they can find you, where they can look you up, you know,
Okay.
Facebook, YouTube, website, Twitter, I don't know.
All right. Shout out to Lisa and also Bright. Hey, you too. That's number one. Number two, you can find us moviejabber.co.ke, and also on our official page, facebook.com/moviejabber. And also, if you want to just talk about movies, reviews, and just basically find out what's hot on the streets, you have the forum on Facebook named Movie Jabber. Of course, Twitter @moviejabber, and yeah, @moviejabber. That's basically it. And if you're looking for, we what we've done as Movie Jabber is we've tried to be very different in all that we do. And one of the key aspects when it comes to decision making is innovation. If we're partnering with somebody, that's why we've always gone for the small companies, because small companies are willing to be creative because they don't have the spend. But I don't think spend should be a limit to creativity. There's so much you can do, you know. So if you're out there, you'd love to basically partner with us, and there's just so much we can do, because at the end of the day, if I'm targeting Maddie, if Maddie is my customer, Maddie has to eat. Maddie has needs insurance. Maddie needs clothes. You need to smell good. You need to look good. You need to walk good. You need to be educated. So because of Maddie, any brand, any company, any sport company is able to merge and partner with an insurance company because Maddie needs insurance. Any entertainment company should be able to partner with any company in the financial sector. Why? Because if the entertainment company is reaching out to Maddie, then they need to realize that Maddie also needs a bank account. He needs a savings plan. So because of Maddie, there's nothing stopping the entertainment company from partnering with the bank company. So basically, if you're out there, if you'd love to do something innovative and creative, regardless of the budget or even no spend whatsoever, please just hit me up. Let's talk. Let's just set the pace.
Definitely, definitely. Once again, you guys, this is NCYE. Visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/NCYE. Or if you're willing to be a part of NCYE, want to be a part of it, just visit our website on www.ncye.co.uk. Co.ke. No UK. But anyway, thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you, Maddie.